JokePit UK.
Am I allowed to look directly into the camera?
You can look directly into their souls.
I love it.
If you want
I love
to.
it. Hello.
Let's both turn and say hello
Yeah.
at the same time. Ready?
Hello.
Hello.
What was that? You said it at the same time and then you deliberately left a pause on it. It's outrageous.
I was doing the Simpsons thing. Introduce yourself to people. Let's not get distracted.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Introduce yourself to people. How would you describe what you do on stage?
I do stand-up comedy on stage. As you well know, the worst question to ask a comic is describe what you do. Because there's no way to describe stand-up comedy without making it sound like
really
sort of
wanky.
dead and awful. But if I sort of go, well, I mean, I can tell you about my show. My current show is really... I'm very, very excited by it. It's my 4th hour. And I feel like everything's clicked into place. I've worked really hard on it. I'm really excited about it. It's all basically about how I'm desperate to have a child, but I'm too scared.
Oh,
and
no.
For once, I've managed to write a show that is thematic without clobbering the audience over the head. So if you want to come and see it just for the jokes, there's a shit ton of jokes in it. And if you want to come and see it for the occasional poignant bits, there's some occasional, genuinely, not even occasional, very brief... genuinely poignant bits. It's really
Don't undersell the poignancy.
No, they're very brief. That's my point. If you want them, they're there. But there's no drawn out, no strings. There's no stirring music. You know, it's. I just think you can really get what you want from it, and that's. It's a very good thing to be able to say.
To feel like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I see a lot of comedy. As you know, I do a podcast about comedy as well. A podcast about comedy rather than a comedy podcast. And
is that a way of you telling people don't expect to laugh?
No. Well, yes, but also it's not just two or three guys in a flat talking shit.
Okay.
It's a different sort of thing. And so I'm watching loads and loads of shows. So I was sat on the train the other day coming up here, and I've made a list of 127 absolute must-sees. I won't get through all of them, but they're there.
127?
Yeah, because I love comedy, and I do it because I love it, rather than because I'm good.
And that was a perfect use of looking in the lens as
thanks,
well.
Mate. and part of it for me is that I love watching shows, and I want to do a show that people would love to see.
Yeah.
And it's taken me this long. I've been doing comedy for about 10 years.
4 hours.
Yeah, 4 different hour shows stretched over the last half of my 10 years stand-up career.
It took you realising that you were afraid to have kids. Are you afraid of the action of creating children, did you say?
Of course not.
Because there's
places
you
misunderstand me for comic effects.
There's places we can help you with that. Is that the main crux of what you're talking about this year then? Something really close to home?
Do you know, all of my stuff is always really, really close to home. My first show was called The Reasonable Man, and it was about how I've tried to, I used to be a street performer for 10 years, I was in a circus, I used to go to fetish clubs a lot. It was about the sort of life I'd tried to live to prove that I was different, and me realising that actually I'm a boring man from Leamington Spa, and I should know my place. And then my second show was called Another Lovely Crisis, and that was all about anxiety, and my third show was called Prick, and that was all about sort of sexual selfishness. And with each of those shows, in the writing of them, I don't want to bang on about this because they are just a load of jokes.
Come on, bang on away.
The writing of the show for me is a process by which I genuinely solve a thing in my head. And I don't intend to do that, it just always happens.
That's good.
So I came into this show going, okay, I didn't go, I'm going to write a show about kids. I wrote a load of funny stuff about what's going on in my life. And then gradually I went, oh shit, what I'm writing about is the fact I really want kids. So what's that about? So I keep writing and I go, oh actually I really want kids but I'm scared to. And then by the end of the process I've got a cracking show about that. And also it worked, it's healed me, and now I'm going to have kids.
It's self-therapy? Are you going to have kids?
Yeah, I mean I'm not pregnant at the moment.
Have you told your partner?
Yeah, I'm not going to surprise her. She's on board. She wrote the 2 best jokes in the show.
Oh great.
Yeah, and they're credited. I'm not like,
really?
Comedians will often smuggle in other people, their girlfriends stuff in the show, their partners stuff in the show. But I fully credit her. She does impressions of inanimate objects.
Okay.
Do you want to see one?
I want to see one.
Visual.
I definitely want to see one.
This is for the viewer. It'd be nice for this to be online. I won't say her name because I don't know if she would like me to. But this is not my material. This is my girlfriend's material. This is her impression of food in the fridge. Okay, food in the fridge.
That's brilliant.
Okay.
That's brilliant. So if you want to see 2 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, an hour of that.
As soon as she gets an hour of that shit together, I'm staying at home and she's coming to the Edinburgh Festival.
Tell us about the circus. What did you do in what circus? Was it circus comedy or circus performance?
It was very much circus comedy with the emphasis on comedy.
As in Philip Gaulier or as in like Buffon?
I never trained with Gaulier. I trained with lots of people who trained with Jacques Lecoq, who was a teacher.
That's a hilarious name.
Yeah. He probably got that a lot. But I went to circus school in Bristol.
Cool.
A frightening number of years ago when I was about 18. And there I discovered, or shortly before there actually, I discovered street performing. So I trained in the circus, but I was a street performer for a long time. I came third in the world at the the World Busking Championships.
That's quite hard. Do they have that in a venue, or is it just outside?
No, it's outside. It's outside the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to get 10 guys out of the audience to do a tug of war with a rope and then walk on the rope and balance.
Oh
in the middle
man,
and eat
that's
a packet of
awesome.
crisps.
Do you still bring that into your shows now, or are you like, no, I'm moving past it, I'm
No,
writing?
no, absolutely not. Because when I first started doing stand-up, my street performing buddy said, just take a trick on in your back pocket, then you can fall back on it if you need to. And I knew that if I did that, I would always fall back on it. So no,
It's completely
totally different. I still love it. I still love street performing. I don't do it very often.
It's an amazing art, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it's great.
Where can they see your show this year?
So it's in the Pleasance Courtyard at the Pleasance Courtyard at 7 p.m. You said AM for some reason, in a venue called The Attic, which is only a little 50-seater, so get in quick because it's cosy as hell, and wear shorts and bring 2 pints of water.
Bring them with you.
Bring them with you because it is a warm, warm room. But it's a good show. The show runs at exactly 50 minutes, so I'm not going to keep you dragging around.
Really?
I make my point and I get out. That is the bit. I honestly believe. I was talking to Danny McLaughlin and Damo Clark last night about this. Two brilliant comedians. Both the shows are excellent. But they were saying that shows there should be a legal limit on the show at 40 minutes. Shows do not get better by being longer. It's not natural to sit and watch comedy for an hour. And also, Damo's big idea is that on Suicide Wednesday next week, which is the first day when there's no specials or half-price tickets or offers, and you find out how big your audience really is, all of the venues should let everyone's pass active in all of the venues. So I'm just plugging that.
We're solving the world. We're not only plugging. We're solving the world.
This is my 20th Edinburgh Festival, and now I'm concerned with important shit like Suicide Wednesday, water, and shorts.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for fixing the world. Thank you for showing us what food.
No worries.
Like
Can I just tell you about the live podcast shows?
No, you can't tell us. No.
Comedianscomedian.com.
Of course you can tell us.
Okay, I didn't know if you could. We know that. Well, obviously, the viewer will know that we're recording this on one of those cameras that runs out in 10 minutes. Unless you chipped it, but you don't want to break it. So I also do this podcast where I talk to comedians in depth about their writing process. It's like inside the actor's studio, but for comics.
Which is awesome.
And Greg Proops said of it, it's not just another wanker talking about comedy. That is an official quote from actual Greg Proops.
Actual Greg Proops.
But I've had people like Al Murray on it, and Sarah Millican, and Marcus Brigstock, and Hannibal Buress, and Eddie Pepitone, and Carl Kinane.
Really
and
interesting.
I love it to bits, and it's my thing, and it's me following my line of inquiry, and I do it for me, but I also happen to put it online.
So where can they find that again?
Well, it's at comedianscomedian.com. You can search for
Comedianscomedian.com.
Comedians Comedian Podcast on iTunes, or if you're at the Edinburgh Festival, you can see 5 live shows, which are at 11 p.m. at Bob and Misbehaved Bookshop, which is a bit of a mouthful, but if you go to heroesoffringe.com...
It's a lot of things to remember.
I know. Heroes of Fringe, it's one of the 4 free festivals, is Bob Slayer's Heroes of Fringe.
Cool.
So, Comedians Comedian Podcast at Heroes of Fringe, and it's on at 11 o'clock at night. I've got Phil Kay, Sam Simmons, Bridget Christie, Josie Long, and one other TBC, and it's a live conversation, just one-on-one, not to be funny, sometimes it's funny, but it's about how do you write your jokes, how do you get the stuff out of the world into your head and onto the page and onto the stage.
That's awesome.
And it is awesome, thank you. It's great.
Go and watch that, go and listen to it online, go and watch your show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers.
JokePit, home of new comedy.